Ed Doolan with you on BBC WM, keeping you company through till 2 o'clock. Yesterday afternoon, the government announced a bursary scheme to replace the education maintenance allowance paid to poorer students, which was scrapped in England last year. The new allowance will cost a third of the EMA scheme. It paid up to £30 a week to about 650,000 teenagers who stayed in education past the age of 16. The Education Secretary, Michael Gove, now says he's setting up a £180 million bursary scheme for 16 to 19-year-old students in place of the EMA. Well, let's get reaction to this from Dudley College and cross over to our reporter, Louise Briley.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ed. Here at Dudley College, 78% of students rely on the education maintenance allowance. And to put a figure on that, that's 1,785 students. So clearly there's going to be a major impact to students here. Now, just in case people don't know how students qualify for EMA, EMA is based on what the students' parents earn, and it's given directly to the students. And it tends to be, families not earning very much. It tends to be those sort of students getting it. The bursary scheme is completely different. It basically gives a pot of money to the college. So there's a lot of concern here about how that's all going to work. It's still not very clear at the moment. I'm here with Kim Hughes, who's president of a student union, and Matt Stevenson, who's vice president. Kim, if I can come to you first, what impact is this going to have on students here?
Well, it's going to have a massive impact. A lot of our students do depend on this money to literally just pay for getting to college, stationery and food, which pretty much enough everyone probably knows by now. And we do need that money to, kind of effectively attend college.
So these claims that students spend it on booze, what's your reaction to that?
I'd say there is going to be a percentage in that, but it's going to be a very minute percentage in the grand scheme of things, considering how many people do receive EMA. It is a small percentage. And I'm sure that if they probably cracked down a bit on the criteria of being eligible for EMA, they probably wouldn't have accidentally, kind of included them into it, because then they don't need it. But the proportion that does need EMA is obviously a lot more, and they're focusing, in my opinion, maybe a bit too much on the ones that, obviously misuse it.
Because we're talking here, the students' parents, between them, they have to earn, I think it's about less than £20,000, isn't it, to qualify for the £30 a week. £20,000 between two parents is not very much. So from what I can tell, you really need that £30 a week. Matt, you benefit from it. So what difference does it make to you?
It makes a big difference because it pays for my bus pass, which is £26 a month, and it pays for food at college. It also pays for equipment, because on a childcare course you have to buy all your own paper, glue and all glittery stuff to actually make stuff for the children.
So it's being taken away from September. How concerned are you? What impact is it going to have on you?
It's very concerning for me, because I don't know whether I'm going to be able to progress onto my next course, because I don't know if I'm going to be in a financial situation, because I'm from a single parent family and my mum doesn't work herself, so she's not going to be able to support me.
So it effectively could mean that you won't be able to go to college?
It could.
That's really worrying. Well, so Kim, what are your concerns about the bursary scheme then? We don't really know much about it yet, do we?
Well, in a way, it's a bit of a mystery of how it's going to be distributed and that. The details haven't actually been broadcasted. It is a good thing on some aspects that the government have actually listened to us and all, the democratic process is going through, writing off to our MPs and things like that. And they have reduced it from a 90% cut to a 66% cut. So we have probably got a bit more, so it can be a bit more supportive. But in the grand scheme of things, it's still a 66% cut, which is obviously a substantial amount. Yeah. Where everywhere else is facing cuts to 25%.
And quickly, you've been campaigning about this right from the start. So do you feel like your campaign really hasn't had much impact?
It's hard to say on that one, really. It's obviously had some impact, considering they have changed it, so they have listened to some degree, probably not as much as we would have liked, but they have been listening. And what we do hope to continue is consulting students, consulting colleges about this new scheme to make it as effective as possible, because right now it is very concerning, and considering students right now at this very moment have to decide whether they're going to get to college or not, kind of taking a leap of faith and going to guess their financial situation later on.
All right, Kim, Matt, thanks very much for talking to me. I'd have to say the bursary scheme suggested by Michael Gove not being well received here at Dudley College.
Can I thank you very much, Louise?